Cappy, welcome to another fantabulous episode of Online Leftists. And today we're doing another episode where we are covering a bunch of news. It looks like super base news.
Yeah. There's been a lot going on. Some of this is really fucking based. Some of it's not, but some of it is.
Some of these articles, I fear, are going to lead some of our Angloid communizer listeners from. I can imagine the scrunched up expressions on their faces, their tiny effeminate fists balled up, clenching, maybe nails digging into their palms so much as to fucking cause their blue blood to drip. Anguish faces over the fact that Burkina Faso is starting to sound a little socialist.
Yeah, it's super based. Yeah, they're going to shit themselves when they listen.
Don't English people enjoy that type of activity anyways? They're sort of deviants in the German sense with like a lot of scat porn and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
I think there is a BDSM quality to their food that they eat. They can't earnestly like that, so it's got to be like a self-punishment, like a masochistic thing, right?
It's definitely torture.
Yeah. Using boiled peas as a relish in your gravy that is like sick shit. It's like really out of the movie Salo.
They eat mushy peas. Why do you gotta mush them? Just eat them off your plate like everyone else.
With the spoon.
Yeah, it's that easy.
A little butter and salt.
I mean, maybe mix them with your mashed potatoes or something. If you know. They
should mix them with cyanide. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So. All right, so this is from a commentaire, Sidwaya info, commentaire. Okay, as our editorialist aptly reminded us yesterday, Monday, the 2026-2030 recovery plan aims to build strong and prosperous economy for the benefit of all based on our own resources. This therefore implies a new political economy with the state acquiring a significant share of the means of production based. This is finance capital. Imperialists and communizers hate when this happens. They fucking hate this so much.
Burkina Faso, the big imperialist nation, right?
How can they be decolonized? They forbade gay people from kissing in the streets. How can they be anti-imperial?
Even funnier is when people say that they didn't decolonize because they've sold off the country to Russia instead. And it's like, I don't know if you guys understand the difference between a win-win relationship that's consensual and good for everybody involved and it helps Burkina Faso, and then one of like a neo-colonialist character that hurts them. There's a big difference between friendship and a neo-colonial relationship, you know.
I think left comms, left deviationists, and communizers cannot rationalize what an unequal exchange looks like because fundamentally they've never given their girlfriends orgasms. So everything that they do is predicated on an unequal exchange like they have sexually.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Continuing reading. The acquisition must be understood as an acquisition by the nation rather than a particular class, so that investment efforts undertaken by public enterprises reflect a national development policy based on independence. State capitalism, structurally and nationalist in its logic, will dirigist with a... What is this? What is this word? Dirigist?
I had looked that up. I forget what it means. I had looked that up the other day when I read this. Hold on.
With a dirigee system where all parts of the means of production are legally owned by the state or controlled by public bodies, based, and in intermediate phase towards a socialist society, which we all aspire. Ooh, they are aspiring to a socialist society.
Yeah. Well, so this is like explaining the first half of their plan, because I know people are going to hear that the part that says, which must be understood as an appropriation by the nation rather than by a particular class. They get into class, like that's, you got to get past that. I know people read that and go, no. But the D word that you just said, I don't know how to say that. It's French.
Dirigiste.
Yeah, it's just an economic or a political type thing where the state plays an active role in guiding the economy. So I think that.
While it is indeed necessary to awaken the majority of the population to the need for a socialist revolution through the principles and programmatic platform, we must not overlook the need to take urgent and essential revolutionary measures to combat economic disorganization. Base. True. Wow. The Burkinabe ecosystem does not exist as a ideological abstraction in the minds of left comms. You mean it's an actual city that has it's an actual country that has actual cities with actual citizens that need to eat and have healthcare and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, this does not conform to left comm thought.
I know, it's a big shame.
These online leftists, they hate this.
You know what? We don't have to work within their frameworks because we're not beholden to their dogma. We have a responsibility to one thing, and that's material reality, not the wishes of left comms. Yeah,
the two things. Yeah. All right. In addition to the already effective nationalization of land, control of the financial and banking system is necessary for the implementation of the revolution's programmatic reform. I love programmatic reform. These measures, which constitute the first steps towards socialism, are perfectly feasible from an economic standpoint. Therefore, the state must be restored to its full centrality at this current stage of our socio-economic process. This, finally, as Engels said, oh, fuck, holy based. Damn, left comms hate Engels, and they hate Captain Ibrahim Traoré, who doesn't do things halfway. Damn, they're really geared up to fucking hate this. First of all, they hate you. They hate me. They hate fucking Burkina Faso. They hate fucking expelling the French and defeating ISIS. They hate that. They have the same foreign policy as a finance capital. Yeah. They hate all of those things. And they most of all, they hate Engels.
Yeah, they really do.
They really, really do.
They really fucking do.
Yeah, Engels, he burned all the super left-com stuff that Marx wrote, right? He was a conspiracy. Engels, like all the stuff that really would have proved left-com's right, Engels destroyed it. It was part of a conspiracy.
Evil Engels.
Evil Engels, based. This, finally, as Engels said, is so that, quote, antagonisms, classes with opposing economic interests do not consume themselves and society into a sterile struggle. True, end quote. Hence the need, as indicated above, for a power that, quote, appearing to be above society must mitigate the conflict, keeping it within the bounds of order, end quote. Herein lies the fundamental idea of the revolutionaries regarding the historical role and significance of the state. It is an unprincipled and programmatic approach that Comrade President. That's his title.
I don't know if you saw that, but they added Comrade in now. Yes, that's the official Burkina Faso. Yeah, isn't that funny?
This fucking makes my Lassallean heart fucking so warm.
Yeah.
This warms the cockles of my socialist commodity production fucking core.
Yeah, your class collaborationist core too.
Oh my God, I love it so much.
Yeah.
Comrade President of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, who does not do things halfway, launched the process of political, economic, and social refounding of the country, a process that will bring about a qualitative leap forward, a great leap forward? A super mega great leap forward, maybe?
I would say a giant one, yeah.
Now in that orthodox Marxist rationale for why Pol Pot was actually a cool left comm that I read last night that that Valkyr linked in the Discord. Now in that, am I to understand that the Capuchin communists, quote unquote, called their endeavors the super great leap forward? Is that real?
Did they? I don't know, honestly. I've never heard that, surprisingly.
Because that's super fucking funny. So this could be like a mega super great leap forward.
Yeah, I think it's gearing up to be.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
A qualitative leap forward in all areas and condemn the counter-revolution to oblivion for all time. True! Get to oblivion! Counter-revolutionaries and left comms and communizers for some reason. Hence the resurgence of activity among counter-revolutionaries and revisionists who seek to, quote-unquote, explode the revolution through rumors, disinformation, and misinformation in order to restore the old order. That is what Swantex is doing. Cappy, explain why.
Well, I mean, I think we've mentioned his take on Burkina Faso a million times on here, but...
Dog shit.
I mean, between that and their support for the Arab Spring, the overthrow of Gaddafi, the Euromaidan, they're fucking... These guys are fucking... they're useless idiots. They're not even useful. They're dumb.
They're useful to liberals.
Yes, they're useful to liberals, not to us.
That's why 80% of Swantex's audience is liberals.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I also saw, did you see that there was a couple very cool edits of me?
I did.
Cappy,
yeah, those are nice.
We're becoming famous. We're up there with Mocha Frappuccino and Madeline Pendleton. You have Raised the Raid and Madeline Pendleton commenting on your posts. Left cons are making like pro-Lassallean edits of me or something. I don't even know.
I'm glad they're not obsessed with me. I mean, I've seen some edits of me now, but it's not, I have some good edits that people have made.
I thought that those edits were high quality.
Yeah, I will give them that. It was good editing.
Yeah, I hope to see more. Hence the resurgence of activity, counter-revolutionaries, communizers, left comms, worthless, they tail liberals, okay, moving on. Faced with this propaganda campaign done by communizers and liberals and left comms, all the same thing, the need arises to link politics to a vanguard body where those with oh my god, they're super fucking base. What the fuck? Yeah. He's Comrade president. They're quoting fucking angles and they're talking about a fucking nationalizing production with the fucking vanguard fucking body.
This is a state-run newspaper in Burkina Faso.
Oh my god, too fucking based.
It is affiliated with the government to some extent. You know what I mean?
Fucking LaSalle respect, bro. The need arises to link politics to a vanguard body where those with firm principles and a suitable plan are the supreme regulators of the struggle, dictating the execution of their plan. Base. Vigilance is all the more necessary given that many Burkinabe have little experience in matters of revolution. True, and leftcoms have none. It is true. The rank and file fucking citizens and every leftcom and every communizer and every left deviationist have zero history with revolution. What do they know? They need intrepid comrade presidents like the head of the Burkinabe people, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, to lead the way, to steward the revolution. Isn't that right, Cappy?
It is right. I thought you were going to continue reading.
Fuck you. Vigilance is okay. This is not autocracy, quote unquote, but rather a process of raising awareness to dismantle the outdated theories of broad democracy. True, with which popular progressive revolution (RPP) cannot coexist. Okay. What is this? The results of the RPP experiments are already before our eyes and amply demonstrate that it is fully understood its duty at this stage of our socio-political and economic development. The sovereign people thus continue their resolute march towards progress and hope for all. The Popular Progressive Revolution, RPP.
That's the official name of the process that Burkina Faso has been undergoing since 2022 when Traoré had taken power. That's what they call it.
The ultra super great leap forward?
The People's Progressive Revolution, but it is an ultra super great leap forward. Now, what I wanted to say was not just me, but a couple other comrades who checked this out. The way that it seems to me, and I think to them, from how I understand it, is it looks like from 2026 to 2030, they have this recovery plan, which, as they described, is essentially state capitalism in its structures and nationalist in its logic. And then it looks like this is a long-term plan to transition from that into a socialist economy, and into an actual dictatorship of the proletariat. That's the way that this reads to me. You know what I mean?
But isn't it already a dictatorship of the proletariat?
No.
If there's unitary action being taken by the fucking party form that is acting on behalf of the proletariat and instigating a great leap forward, isn't the onus or the germ of the DOTP there?
Well, yeah. So, like, I would say that the roots of it are, and especially if, a lot of people don't keep up with Burkina Faso, but the people are extremely involved in this revolution, and they've been the massive amounts of people have been volunteering their time to rebuild the country, rebuild the roads, do this and that. But at this very moment, I would consider it to be a military dictatorship. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does seem that there is this.
Has there ever been a fucking successful People's Front that was not a de facto military dictatorship at its onset?
Yeah, I mean, this is closer to like what Cuba was at first.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a coup like that.
There was fucking semantics that I was like arguing with somebody in chat about. I'm like, look, I don't care how you fucking phrase it, unless you are aligned with segments of the fucking military who can go out and actuate fucking policy and fight for fucking land and then actuate economic policies in there. You don't have a revolution. A revolution is men who are fighting, men and women, majority men, who are fucking fighting for fucking land for a cause. Mm-hmm. That is how any successful fucking AES started. You cannot have, and I think it was a semantic argument about who the subject of the revolutionary. Cappy, who's the subject of the revolution, the party or the people?
I mean, it's kind of hard because, like, I know that I've seen you and other people like talking about this, but I do believe it to be the proletariat. I just think that they need a party to guide them. So whether or not people would say, well, that means you're saying the party is or isn't, whatever. But the party of the proletariat needs to guide the masses in the proletariat through the revolution. I think that that's 100% clear when we look at all of the successful revolutions throughout history. You cannot do it without a centralized authoritarian organization
top-down command.
Yeah, that can handle the absolute onslaught of imperialism that you're going to get that. You cannot avoid that. The bourgeoisie does not just let you take power. So
No.
I would say the object of the revolution is the people, the masses, but particularly the proletariat. But they do need a vanguard party. There's no doubt about that.
Okay. So I still see the primacy right there is on the people without a vanguard or nothing.
No.
They are necessarily fucking
They're not.
decentralized and fucking fragmented. They have no central consensus from which to affect policy, to make commands, to tell a military, you stay here and fight this flank. We're taking X amount of troops and going over here to fucking fight them over here. You need a centralized command post to fucking dictate what's going on. Whether you're semantically layering that with, oh, this is all some democratic councilist fucking thing going on. Okay, sure. The military's doing what the military needs to do to fucking win. That's the reality.
Yeah,
That's it's the same thing in the way in which we need to look at the political economy of a country to understand its true history. In order to look at the formation of a country, we need to look at what the militarism did, because the actual freedom was won by the militants.
Well, so like, you know, I don't hate spontaneity. I think that all revolutions have aspects of spontaneity, and I don't think that's bad, but I am against the idea that you can have spontaneous revolution. Like, I don't think that's a thing. A revolution cannot be wholly spontaneous. That's ridiculous. I mean, Lenin criticized this.
Didn't we see that in Nepal recently? A bunch of like liberal sort of student-led adventurism.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's yeah. And again,
that stuff is the most hijackable type thing.
Well, it always is. We've seen the spontaneous revolutions that some of these people cite as being like legitimate proletarian revolutions were fucking not. They were color revolutions. They were legitimate at their base, and then they got hijacked by the West, and they ended up fucking destroying whole countries. But I know that's a moralistic argument to make, right? According to some of those quote unquote Marxists out there. Yeah.
Moralism, yeah. If you were trying to instill a fucking a government program, an administration, and you were not concerned with the outcomes for humans, you know, in it, I think that you are sociopathic and you should not be anywhere near that administration.
Yeah.
You should be concerned with the moral outcomes for people. Otherwise, you're literally Hitlerian.
Well,
didn't the National Socialists famously not care about what happened to people? I don't want that anywhere near any type of administration I'm associated with.
No, yeah, I mean they misuse that argument so much. It's like, yeah, I prefer Libya under Gaddafi. That, you know, it was a prosperous country with low poverty rates and had no active slave trade, and they're like, that's moralism. It's like, you guys are fucking awful. Like, holy shit,
childish.
Yeah, but then, you know, in the next breath, they're like, China bad because trade with Israel. And it's like, all right, you don't get to have it both ways. Like, yeah. Like, it's fucking... But
China is bad because trade with Israel. I mean,
I think that's bad, too. I'm not saying it's not bad, but, you know, it's just interesting to me that the people who complain to us about moralism when we don't approve of something...
Yeah.
However, I tend to prefer Iran's...
methodology,
you know, their method of dealing with Israel. Yeah. Which
speaking of that, we have we have the Middle East Spectator on Telegram. So you have your ear to the veritable train tracks, sensing all the vibes of what's going on there in geopolitical land. So what are these updates we have about the Iran war?
So there's just a lot of fucking shit going on. I mean, they are just fucking hitting everyone. So the IRGC announced the latest missile barrage of Operation Nassar 2, targeted U.S. Special Forces Command Center in Al-Tanf. I don't know how to say that. I think that's correct. Which is in southern Syria. It was a surprise attack. The surprise attack resulted in a radar system and helicopters being destroyed, as well as a large number of American soldiers being killed, according to the statement. The statement comes from the IRGC, of course. Second, Kuwait began rationing power usage throughout the country after Iranian strikes targeted one of its major power plants. So as we know, Kuwait is a foothold of the U.S. Satellite images can confirm that a Patriot air defense system was destroyed at the U.S. base in Erbil Airport. Let's see. Iranian ballistic missiles impacted directly on Al-Dil camp, where U.S. forces are stationed in Bahrain. Iran's army revealed in a statement that the 65th Nohed Airborne Special Forces Brigade carried out 11 missions inside Iraqi Kurdistan during the recent war, eliminating 8 mid to high level commanders and destroying 3 Kurdish bases. Which, yeah, some people are going to be like, why is that good? And you know, look into the relationship between, you know what I mean? It's,
fuck anarchists, fuck Auckland, fuck all of them.
So the Iraqi Kurdistan is not anarchist, but
okay,
yeah, but they, you know, they
my comment stands.
The Kurdish national groups of Iraq have always been leveraged by the U.S. They took part in the overthrow of Saddam Hussein. You know that guy that's always like, Joe Biden, wake up. You know that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an Iraqi Kurd in one of those organized, the Peshmerga, I think. He was like an officer in. And he actively took part, in the overthrow of Saddam Hussein, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's actually a bad dude, but I think he's funny too. But so we have satellite imagery from Sentinel-2. It shows extensive damage at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. And then
isn't it Qatar?
It might be, but I'm an American.
Okay.
So according to Intel Slava, which is another Telegram channel, it's not Middle East Spectator, but Intel Slava says satellite imagery confirms a Halliburton Oil Services logistics depot in Kuwait's Abdullah Port industrial zone has been completely destroyed and set ablaze following an Iranian drone strike earlier today. Fucking based.
So Iran is quite literally hitting everywhere and everything. Now, however, Cappy, I have also seen reports about civic infrastructure being hit in Iran. They're targeting water treatment. They're targeting bridges. They're actively... So Iran is targeting the military capacity of American and Israeli bases, U.S.-Israeli allies in the area, military bases and military infrastructure as far as air defense systems and helicopters and the like. And there are some troops that died there. However, the U.S. is literally targeting civilian infrastructure.
Well, they did respond by hitting some civilian infrastructure. They hit was that desalinization? How do you say that?
Oh, was that in
like a water
Kuwait
plant,
or? I think it was
remember.
in Qatar. I forget. It was one of those U.S. proxy places.
But all of these were in. These were all retaliations. It's not like Iran was just like, I'm just gonna.
The whole response from Iran is retaliation.
Yes.
They didn't instigate any of this.
And Donald Trump is still out there saying like, we hold all the cards. The war is almost over. We hold all the cards. Iran is. It's like they're doing fine. And then that period of time, the ceasefire for that small amount of time, did give them the opportunity to sort of, okay, let's see what we got, let's see what we need, let's make what we need, you know what I mean? And so now they're fucking hitting hard. I mean, some of the shit that they've hit, I mean, just reading today, it seemed like this has been some of the hardest that I've seen them go yet. So, I mean, they're doing a good job out there.
Yeah, and so the rule of thumb is that United States, their engagement here is predicated on the need for it to be short, and Iran is trying to extend this so Iran wants the smoke. They want to extend this. They want it to be a war of attrition. They're going to win. They benefit every time the Western world, their GDP, the collective imperial aligned countries, contracts. And this protracted conflict is going to contract the economic capacity of the Western aligned countries.
It's a money sink, and the U.S. was already sinking money into Ukraine, this is exactly why they're trying to put Ukraine off onto Europe now. The U.S. does not want to be responsible for Ukraine. They want to push it off onto Europe, and they want to attempt to take NATO away from the primary focus of Europe, and they want to put a lot of pressure on West Asia. Which we know why they want to do that. It's because of China. But actually China and Iran. Now you have to put Iran up there with China. It's not just China, but the pressure they want to put on West Asia is also to get Iran. So.
I saw another thing. There was that poster. I don't know, the blonde guy. I forget his name. He does a lot of the reports. He basically said that the Houthis and Iran are working together to shut down another strait. To exponentially, the plan is to get the cost of barrels of oil up to $200 per barrel or something else like that, and they're going to attempt to secure that or facilitate that by closing down another non-Hormuz strait.
Yeah, it's the which one is it? I forget. I was just reading that earlier too, dude.
Starts with a B, I think. I forget.
The Ansar Allah, right? The Houthis, they have absolutely fucking nothing to lose. Yemen is the most impoverished country in the world, and they just got done undergoing a genocide by the U.S. and Saudi Arabia for quite a long time. They have nothing to lose. They will fight until their last breath. They are a thorn in the side of Western imperialism, and everyone needs to put respect on their fucking name.
True.
So the U.S. State Department hosted a ministerial on the resurgence of political terrorism focused on what officials described as a rise in transnational political violence.
So this is the third article here. Is this really the title? Secretary of State Marco Rubio with Secretary Treasurer Scott Bessent, White House Deputy Staff and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller, Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau at the opening of the ministerial on the resurgence of political terrorism.
Yeah,
Holy gobbledygook.
It was a transcription of a speech given, and it was on the State Department's website.
Is this the 9 p.m. Eastern time announcement of Trump yesterday?
No, this was a separate thing. I don't think Trump spoke during this.
Okay. All right.
Yes. But I think Trump spoke about some of that stuff.
The U.S. State Department hosted a ministerial on the resurgence of political terrorism focused on what officials describe as the rise of transnational political violence. Yeah, done by the United States, right?
Yeah.
What are they talking about here? What are they talking? What is this?
Well, you're going to see. Do you want me to read?
Second post, yeah.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio argued that counterterrorism efforts have focused primarily on jihadist groups since 9/11 and claimed governments have underestimated far-left political violence. Rubio announced that the U.S. intends to expand international cooperation, intelligence sharing, and financial measures against what the administration describes as far-left extremist networks.
So is this working with Israel against leftists? Is that what this is?
This is them literally saying we focus too hard on Islamic extremism, and now we need to put our focus on the real threat right now, which is leftists.
Leftists, yeah.
Leftists.
The Israel is so key. I saw recently, unrelated story, sort of related, about there was a Texas police department that spent $4.5 million on 3 vehicles outfitted by Israel to be mobile Stingrays. Be mobile cell phone towers that intercept and snatch all the data on your Bluetooth and whatever to drive around, literally surveillance vans.
Damn.
Armored surveillance fucking vehicles that literally steal all your connect to your cell phone in an extra legal fashion. But it's why did they pay Israel for I could have outfitted their vehicles with Stingrays for less than this. What the fuck? Why do they necessarily go to Israel for all this shit? But that's when I read this, working with expand international cooperation. We're to read from that we're outsourcing stuff to Israeli intelligence, right?
I mean, absolutely.
That's what this means.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, the U.S. and Israel, not always, but hardly do anything without each other being in on it, knowing about they meet up and they talk about it. It's kind 100%. Of like how I feel that way about China and Russia. Neither of these two countries do things. The other one knows what they're going to do before they do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Absolutely. So same with Israel and fucking America. And yes, we are in the China-Russia camp because we're good people. Moralism.
Good campus anti-imperialist, true.
So Deputy Secretary Christopher Landau and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller emphasized the administration's view that groups such as Antifa represents an international security threat and called for coordinated law enforcement efforts.
So they need to. So the anti-fascists are a problem for the American administration, so much so that they need to team up with the pariah state, Israel, who's doing a genocide, to stop the anti-fascists. So we're to read from this that America is de jure fascist and working with genociders to prevent leftists in America.
That's what else are you going to take from it?
Yeah.
It's very clear. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent discussed targeting the financial networks behind groups designated as terrorist organizations, including using sanctions and financial investigations. And officials argued that political violence is increasingly transnational, involving online networks, funding channels, and international coordination. Now, the interesting...
Were any examples given of the financial instrumentation used by these quote-unquote like leftist terrorists?
From what I read... it was basically, I skimmed some of it, I'll be honest, but from what I read, I was at work, when I was putting this together. It was just like a lot of Marco Rubio just like talking shit. Like, it was so weird. He was saying shit like, look at these leftists, look at these Antifa, they're all weirdos. When you see them in public at a protest, they're not normal. They're godless weirdos. They're deformed. Like, legitimately, go through it, to the listeners out there.
Yeah.
He was
criticism
like,
that would be true of communizers and leftists.
Yeah, he was literally calling us deformed and shit.
Yeah.
I was cracking up, but
yeah.
Cuba came out with a response to this almost immediately this morning. President Miguel Diaz-Canel came out and was like, this is bad. Like, he shot back at them and was like, actually, the danger in the world right now is right-wingers and capitalism, right?
Yeah.
This, parasitic imperialism. But he also is like, yeah, no, this isn't
I thought the
good.
real danger in the world. See, I was listening to Lefcoms earlier. I thought the real danger in the world was the failed revolution of the Castroites, who betrayed the revolution in Cuba. Isn't that the greatest ail for the developed world?
I suppose it is, huh? Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
God damn. Fucking Castros, bro.
But like, I don't understand. Cuba is basically the same thing as Israel. So why is Cuba even weighing in on this? They're a failed revolution of Castroite fucking authoritarians. I don't understand. Does that basically mean Israel?
I thought that with the reforms that Cuba would be all about this.
Yeah, 100%. I guess
right?
the world according to Lefcoms doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that Cuba was just a capitalist imperialist state. I don't know.
Yeah, bourgeois democracy.
Not. Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
Okay, I also saw another thing where Marco Rubio and et al. And all the other assorted ghouls of neoliberalism are also attacking the ICC and the ICJ. Have you seen that?
I have not, but it does not shock me in the slightest.
They're basically attacking them, and they're threatening sanctions, denaturalization, and stopping the visas, green cards, and citizenship of people participating in the ICC or the ICJ, which is formerly a lauded organization post fucking World War II. Right, so when it was working on behalf of the recently slaughtered Jewish people, it was a good organization. But as soon as it takes Israel in its sights, then it's a reactionary organization that needs condemnation from neoliberalism.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they are attacking the International Criminal Court, and Antifa. Or do you think that Antifa is aligned with the sort of leftist terrorism of the international criminal courts?
It's so goofy because like the U.S. government has still not wrapped, and they know this is bullshit. They know this, but there is no organization called Antifa. That's not a thing. Like, Antifa is like a strategy at best, and really just like a position at least. Like you're anti-fascist.
Yeah, being bare-chested is not the same as wearing a shirt.
No, yeah. I mean, come on. This is they use that term because they know it applies to us. It applies to anarchists. It applies to softer leftists. It applies to anyone.
I guess being bare-chested is not the same as wearing a black shirt, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's goofy, this
or,
whole thing.
Or a brown shirt, huh? Works a couple different colors works. Yeah.
Americans obviously prepare for the worst because they're going to be. I mean, look, the Red Scare never ended.
It was a similar rationale, and particularly with the ICC thing, which I see the same rationale, goofy rationale. They said specifically the ICC was preventing the sovereignty of U.S., but then people pointed out there is no current U.S. Administrator or official or government figure that is currently targeted by the ICC. It's literally only Israelis. So America sees the persecution of the prosecution of certain Israeli figures as impacting American sovereignty.
Yeah, of course.
That's the rationale.
They have to protect their dog, you know?
In the same way, Antifa, being nominally anti-fascist, impacts American sovereignty and capacity to inflict upon the world its designs. Yeah. Somehow, so America is pro-Israeli genocide and pro-fascism as a matter of course, and being anti those things impact America somehow.
Well, I do think we need to prepare for something. I don't know quite what yet, but I've seen a lot of talk amongst comrades about. I mean, I have a feeling that we're going to see some new laws drafted up sometime in the near future, and we're going to see some sort of. I don't know. It's probably not going to be super pretty. They're already coming down on communists and leftists pretty hard. Like we see this with the.
I've seen a recent, you know what we need to do? I've seen the answer. The new form of social revolutionary tactic. Have you seen this? It's called a sit-in. Have you seen this? This is going to be the revolutionary action. It's liberals being promulgated by social media. They seeing they have a photo op opportunity to sit in the town square. This is going to be the modality by which we do immediate communization and deprol.
You know, I've
by
done
doing
that.
Sit-ins. Did you defeat fascism and the imperial hegemony of the United States by occupying Wall Street?
No, we got run out by bulldozers and cops.
Yeah. Imperialists always have bulldozers and cops, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But and when they came,
did you articulate that you were deproling? Did you tell them?
I forgot.
This is a First Amendment protected thing. I'm deproling, sir. I'm doing immediate communization right now. You can't not allowed.
I forgot.
You have to say that.
See, they evicted us the day after the mayor came down, and he was wilding out and just getting up in people's faces and shit. And everyone's yelling at him, so he must have fucking rounded up the cops and shit. And the next day, they came in full force of bulldozers and shit.
Mayors are good like that. They literally control the police.
Yeah, they built a parking garage on that spot now.
They paved up heaven, put up a parking lot.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Isn't that folk punk?
No, bro. What fuck what is that even? Is it like the Counting Crows or some shit?
I think it's paved up heaven, put up a parking lot. I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, you probably do like that song, don't you?
Huh,
you like that song, don't you? You think it's a bop.
Pave paradise, put up a parking lot.
Yeah, you like that.
This is Big Yellow Taxi. Is this Joni Mitchell's?
Oh, I had no idea who it was, bro.
Yeah, it's Joni Mitchell.
I've heard the song. I get the feeling you like it.
Counting Crows did cover this in 2002.
Oh shit. I was right, yeah.
You know what's funny? Remember Counting Crows? I saw a big thing. This guy recently, they had a lot of attention in like the last year where people were pointing out he's a Jewish guy wearing the dreadlocks, number one, and he got a pass for his whole fucking life. He's like not even like part black. He's literally just a Jewish guy wearing the dreadlocks, number one. And number two, in what is his name? Adam Derwitz or something? I forget what the fuck his name is. And now, recently, as of like 2 or 3 years ago, he was wearing a dreadlock wig. Because he was like balding, so now his dreadlocks which are cultural appropriation for him to wear at all are now in the form of a wig. Cappy, weigh in on this as a fellow folk punker. Cappy and Counting Crows, birds of a feather.
Counting Crows is not folk punk. All right, let's get that straight. That shit
But do you agree that they paved up paradise and put up a parking lot?
I mean, I guess.
Okay, well, yes, that's it for this episode of Online Leftist. Cappy, Birds of a Feather with Joni Mitchell and Adam Berwitz of the Counting Crows.
Yeah, 100%. I'm Capybara, and I approve of this message.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say to these ingrates, degenerates, and good comrades who also might happen to be listening?
No, everyone stay safe out there, especially with news like, this shit about Antifa and stuff like that. Take care of your friends, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors. Don't talk to cops, and don't do anything that Cappy or Glowy wouldn't do, because we're very respectable, well-mannered young men who do not get into any trouble.
I want to see more edits. I want to see more edits of me. I want to see more deranged left com bottom feeders so I can make it again. I thought that was cute.
Well, we can get you that. I'm sure we could get you that.
Also, don't talk to cops unless you're letting it clear that you're doing immediate communization and deproling, because that's how the worldwide revolution happens. You have to let the cops know, stop, sir, I'm deproling. Yeah. So you're impeding my ability to deprol voluntarily. Yeah.
And then yell at them. See the violence.
I'm deproling. I'm doing communization.
Yeah.
I don't respect badges. I'm doing deproling. Okay. Bye, everybody.
All right. Later.